From Lalate headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons Lalate.
It's a big afternoon of Afternoons Lalate, direct and from Santa Monica, California, with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. This is a big afternoon's broadcast in which we go over that fourth stimulus check and the incredible recon that is going to get passed this coming week in the House of Representatives. Wow, we are done, folks, on that incredible vote. A House deal will be done this coming week. It'll be done by the end of Friday, and we are finished with your wonderful $2 trillion recon that pays you about $15,000 of checks across all these incredible programs, whether or not we do or don't have a Congressional Budget Office report. These incredible clusters of checks pay you on average about $15,000 across the board. And in this recording, I'm going to show you how to get these massive sums of checks that are the biggest payday you ever see in the history of this channel. Then we'll be turning also back over to third stimulus that is paying $45,000 this week for countless viewers across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness is heating up. I have the latest details on that. And then we turn to COLA, going up 5.9% next year. But what about this stimulus? It's right behind that as well. We got a big recording, my friends, because guess what? We're going to go over the big sums of money that viewers on average are getting $45,000. You can end the week with upwards of $100,000 in your hand. It's called third stimulus, and it's still paying out, and I'm going to get you that money to this week. Then we're going to be turning to the big vote of the fourth stimulus passing this coming week. That'll pay you on average about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. Then we're going to go and turn to fifth stimulus that raises your benefits up if you're a senior starting next year. We have incredible details, that plus student loan debt, and also the incredible details you've been wondering, like where's my bacon? Those details and more starting right now on Afternoons Lalate. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I hope the weather is good where you are. It got beautiful here in Santa California. Get that pen and paper out and sit ready to take notes, because we're going to go over the $45,000 that viewers on average have gotten from third stimulus and is paying out this week as well. We're going to go over the incredible programs in fourth stimulus that is going to a final vote this week that'll pay you $15,000. It is huge. Lots of checks confirmed, signed, sealed, and will be dealt this week with a vote being solidified. Whether or not we have a Congressional Budget Office report, I have the latest details in this recording. The incredible details are part of the incredible House deal reached by Nancy Pelosi and the moderate Democrats last week, and that deal is going to the finish line this coming week. Then we turn to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven across the board. I have all the latest details on that. And then we turn to the incredible money of fifth stimulus, which comes right behind that COLA raise. Those details and more in a big, bold, beautiful broadcast. I'm excited you're here. I'm excited the weather is a little bit cooler because, oh boy, was it hot yesterday. And this is Lalate, America's most talked about financial news channel in America. 16 shows per day, hundreds of hours of programming per week. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now to learn how you can get tens of thousands of dollars by the end of this week. Like this video and become a member to get that incredible newsletter across the board. Let's go over what we're going to cover in this video. First, we're going to go over the incredible broad stroke of this fourth stimulus recon. That'll pay you on average about $15,000 a checks across all these incredible clusters. Then we're going to turn to third stimulus, still on board, still paying money, and how you can get on average $45,000 like all the countless viewers of this channel. Then we'll be turning to fifth stimulus, and also we'll be going over all the incredible programs across the board. Let's get that pen and paper ready and start with this incredible fourth stimulus. Yes, about $15,000, all these incredible clusters of checks will be paying you across the board. And this is huge. It's huge because this is going to be the single biggest payday of this channel, and you're going to pounce as a Purple Hawk to get it. And to tell you very frankly, to be sort of blunt about it, if you are not watching this channel and you're reading Google or you're on a search engine or you're reading a book or a newspaper, when the fourth stimulus recon is going to pass, it's going to be like third stimulus. People will act just like Johnny's family member. What happened with Johnny? Johnny was a viewer who, under third stimulus, watched this channel, and I said, I can get you on average $15,000 for third stimulus. Johnny got $80,000. He then turned to his family members and he said, I can show you how LA taught me how to get this money under third stimulus. Family members never heard of this money under third stimulus. Months after it passed, and those family members each got $50,000. When this recon passes, I guarantee you it's going to be the same as third stimulus, where people are going to say, I didn't know this money was available under fourth stimulus. Yeah, because you were laser focused on one image and one issue, and you weren't focused on this. Checks are checks. Cash is cash. You don't care what it's called, so long as you get it. And I'm going to show you how to get it starting right now. Let's go over the 3 classes of checks that passed and will be passed this coming week. Get that pen and paper ready. This is the broad stroke. Then we're going to come back over eligibility of all these later in this video. If I say front end, it means it's a check that comes on the front end. Back end, it means it's a check that comes on the back end. They got hazard pay in there. Back end, 1 more year for my essential workers. Great news. $4,000 of elder pay. Got it in there. That is front end. The money for the children, it got in there as well. Then they got the Pell Grant for the college students, another $550 front end. They got the CTC, the child tax credit, $3,600 to $3,000 a year, depending on the age of the child. 1 more year, front-end checks. They got home repairs if you live in a low-income community. Wow, you definitely want those. One of the most popular items in this entire recon. And they got that in their front-end check. Then they got in there $12,500 for the purchase price of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufactured. Wow, back end. And there you go. Those are the first classes of checks. Here's something in there you like. Stay with me. I'm going to go over how to get each of those later in this video. Not law yet, but it's important for you to know how to get it because it's first come, first serve. Because it's diminishing funds. It's why we are Purple Hawks. Hawk, hawk. Now let's go to the first add-on. And that first add-on comes from the wonderful Maxine Waters. It is free money for the purchase price of your first home. Yes, you heard me right. I just hear it like, wait, let me pinch myself. Did I hear that right? Yes, she wanted it $25,000. It's likely not going to be that amount, be a little bit less. But it's free money for the purchase price of your first home. Wow. I'm going to show you how to get that money coming up in a second. Let's go to the second cluster of checks. We got a home repairs and we got paid leave in there. Both wonderful. Paid leave, front end. Then we got in there home repairs, more about those are weatherize your home. They got pre-kindergarten 1 year in there, front end checks. And then they got the home deductions. Wow. So weatherize your home. You definitely need to weatherize your home, especially if Joe Manchin drives up in the driveway with that Maserati and then a bunch of lobsters jump out. Yeah, you know he's gone to lunch with Mitch. There we go. I don't want the leftovers. No, I don't even want the main course. Let's go to the second add-on. And that second add-on comes from Bob Casey in his incredible provision, and he wanted to do it at $250 billion. He got it in there, but a little bit less. And what is it? It is free home health care services. If you're a senior or a person on disabilities, this is huge. You want that. Let's go to the third cluster of checks. You ready for these? This is where it gets really deliciousness. So here we go. We got free school meals for all checks. That is also $65 per month when not in school. Cheaper prescription medication. We got immigration reform. We got money for farmers, free internet, clean energy out, and then we got workers protection, and then dental, vision, and hearing. Let's go over the dental, vision, and hearing. First, the dental and vision, not in there yet, along with the dropping the Medicare eligibility age, that will be taken care of in the Senate. But they did get in the Medicaid age, the Medicaid gap states or holdout states, and they got in there the hearing, which brings us to the third add-on, MSC, monthly or multiple IRS stimulus checks. The last time we saw a narration from the legislators about what they were looking at doing with this, they were looking at doing $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. Now, let's be frank here. Every single part of this recon has changed by the minute, by the hour. You're going to see in this video how let me just tell you right now, paid leave is currently in there. And now there are some progressives that are vowing to take out some provisions of certain items like assault when the recon lands in the Senate. So everything is a battleground in this recon. That was the last provision we saw in there, where the eligibility would be the same as the previous IRS stimulus check. But what's important to understand is that it's not in the House bill. It would be added on the Senate side. And until it's in there, you need to advocate. And the number and the money and the number of checks and whether it's multiple or just one, always at flux, always at issue. And that is why it's important to advocate. Let's read the incredible message from the number one chief of staff of the number one legislator. They now have in total between congressional and senators' offices received more contacts of advocacy from the LA Purple Power than the number of signatures of the American petition. Now they have a better understanding of what Americans are going through because of the pandemic. They have the heartbreaking stories, and they are the voice of the people and the nation in you, LA, as you have become too loud to be ignored. Please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as the professional voice of the people you have become until this becomes law. You know, it was very fascinating, an exchange that happened on Morning's Countdown this morning. One person jumped into the live chat, said, I went on a search engine, I typed in for stimulus check, and it said there is none. Well, obviously that's wrong, because you just saw in the last 2 minutes of this video, $15,000 of checks across all this incredible recon that pays you massive sums of money, potentially more than $15,000. The reaction to that person's comment by another person was also fascinating, where a person said, no, they are putting it on the Senate side. They promised us, and they're going to do it. Well, what's important to understand is that you got to be careful, because these are legislators. There's 6 of them. They want to do it. Another person had a great comment yesterday. So you mean of 6 of 50 legislators, they want to do it? No, those are the 6 ones. Well, first of all, let's assume it is only 6 of all the Democrats on the Senate side that want to do it. That's not a bad thing, because it only takes one senator to add something in there. Who's fighting to do the dental vision in the hearing? Bernie. Who's fighting to do the prescription medication? The president. It only takes one person to do an incredible addition to a recon. And the 6 senators you need to reach out to are Casey, Coons, Sanders, and Warren, and Schumer. The 2 S's, the 2 C's, and the 2 W's. Let's do those. Warren, Wyden, Sanders, Schumer, Casey, Coons. You need to pick up the phone and advocate, because no time to sit back and say, I was promised. No time to sit back and say, it's guaranteed. No time to sit back and say, it's definitely coming. They're taking care of us. We're good. We're fine. No, because everyone is trying to bite away at someone else's provision in this recon. It's a battle. It's a battle to get provisions in. It's a battle to keep provisions in there, and to get them in there and to stay them big enough and not to get them reduced. That is the notion of how legislative negotiations go underway. That's why you need to pick up the phone. But the great news is that the incredible recon will be passed this week. Yes, this is incredible, and people are very excited because they want to get over the Senate. I see the excitement among the viewers of this channel. They're very excited to get over to the Senate. We have dealt the cards in the House, and now it is time to get over to the Senate. That vote will be covered in the second half of this video, with that incredible vote happening this wonderful week. That vote will happen whether or not they have the Congressional Budget Office report, and the programs will pay you about $15,000. You just saw a broad stroke of some of the checks, but I'm going to go over each of them in detail. Get that pen and paper ready, because you know what? This is what we do. Purple Hawks are about pouncing and getting every sum of checks across the board. I'll also be covering third stimulus and how you can get an average about $45,000. Then student loan debt forgiveness, we're going to cover that as well. And then fifth stimulus. We got a big second half of this video. Fifth stimulus, very important, and that COLA raise, very important. I'm getting great questions about that COLA raise. I'll answer that as well. As a Big Afternoons LA continues, see you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Late Daily for the excitement of the new LA Late live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA Late at 9 a.m. Home LA Late returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA Late at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now, direct to Santa Monica, as we have a House vote this coming week. We will be done, my friends, with the House. The vote is happening, and that vote can happen as early as Monday, as early as Thursday, no later than Friday, whether or not we have a Congressional Budget Office report. I'll explain the nuances of what's going on. Then we turn to the incredible money. Program after program, get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get this average of about $15,000 of checks across these incredible programs. You are eligible. Then we turn to student loan debt forgiveness, more money across the board, and then we turn to the exciting details of fifth stimulus. Those details and those monies coming up in the second half of this video, and I'm excited you're here, and with that, subscribe. This is Lalate, America's most talked about and most watched financial news channel. Like it live in the morning, taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is evening's Lalate, and then evening's countdown and street and stimulus. Meantime, don't miss overnight's crypto. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. Like this video and consider becoming a member to get that newsletter starting on Monday across the board. Let's go over the dramatics that's unfolding this coming week, and boy, is it dramatic. I'm excited you're back, and I'm excited for this week. The week will deliver the passage of your wonderful recon in the House. We will be done there. It is very, very exciting. A week ago, the moderate Democrats made a deal with Nancy Pelosi that they would vote on the recon no later than the week of November 15th upon the release of the Congressional Budget Office report. But the phrasing of the sentence puts the no later than under all circumstances last in the sentence, meaning that even if the Congressional Budget Office report is not available, they're still going to vote. And that was what was asked of Nancy Pelosi in Scotland. During the Glasgow climate conference, she was asked, what if that Congressional Budget Office report is not available? Will they still be voting on the recon? She said, absolutely. The Congressional Budget Office confirms that that their report, which was requested as part of this deal, will not be available this coming week in totality. You'll see parts of it released. And what's important to understand is the way they phrased that agreement was critical, that they will absolutely, with or without the report, call the vote by no later than the end of this week. The vote will be a yes vote. Let's make it very clear. The agreement was that the moderate Democrats, the 5 holdouts, will vote in favor of the recon, and that vote will be a yes vote. That incredible deal hatched by Pelosi and the progressives will come to a finality this week with Gothenheimer, Rice, Murphy, Schrader, and Case, all Democrat moderates passing the incredible recon. And with that, then we go over to the Senate. The Senate really will have a massive, incredible recon for big sums of checks across this recon. Now, here is what's very, very important for you to be laser focused on. I'm going to start a little bit of commentary, a little bit of tough love, and a lot on analysis. I love how people always jump in the live chat and say, LLA has helped a lot of people. I have. I got people fortunes for EIDL, fortunes for PPP and PUA and LWA, and big money for rent and utilities and mortgage assistance. You notice the commonality of all those things? I helped people get. All those things required me to educate you about how to get something, and then you taking that information and going out and getting that. What's important to understand is that somewhere in the last 7 or 8 days, people have somehow gotten very donut-y and suddenly sort of stepped back and said, I just want free money to come in the mail. One person in the morning's chat today said, I want 2 years of free checks so I can buy a new house and buy a new car. Actually said that. actually said that. And that's never what the government does. That's never what I do. There's not 2 years of $2,000 checks, of $30,500 of checks just sort of floating around that just automatically come. Very, very donating. We don't do all this we don't do that on this channel. I show you how to get the money. I educate you. I show you the details so you can apply them. If you chose not to apply them, then you will get no money in this recon. Let's be very frank. I'm going to be very tough-lovey with you. Tough-lovey. If you do not do anything, you will sit back and watch other people clean up, and it won't be you. Why is this? Because we've done this on the third stimulus, and it's going to repeat under fourth stimulus. We're going to go over the details of fourth stimulus first, and we're going to take the detour to third stimulus a second. Let's go over the first item that is paying big money under fourth stimulus. It is paid leave and family leave. Now, this is huge because a lot of you either work or don't work, but live with your son or daughter who do work. Or let's say you don't even live with them, but they still do care for you, meaning provide care and assistance to you. Not that they love you, that they provide care and assistance. So they need to know about it, and you're going to learn about it in this video right now. What is this? Paid leave and family leave is if you have to stay home because of the birth of a child, of someone in the household, or care for someone in the household, illness or death, not COVID related. So, for example, let's say you are a senior and you live with your son or daughter, and they do work. And now and then you have to go for a procedure once a month, and your son or daughter have to take off work to take you to the procedure. Now they will get paid for that. They will get money for that. They can certainly share it with you because you're going to tell them how to get the money. How much is it? It's a lot. $1,700 a week if you make $80,000 or more per year. If you make $35,000 a year, $800 a week. If you make $15,000 a year, $400 a week. Now, let's say they have to stay home more than a day. Let's say they have to stay home a few weeks. Let's say, for example, your son or yourself sprained your ankle and you cannot go to work. So that is going to go on for a few weeks. How much does it pay? A fortune. It'll pay up to 4 weeks per year. So 4 weeks times $1,700 is nearly $6,000. The best part of this incredible provision is that it is no income level threshold and no worker threshold, meaning you can be at all income levels and qualify, and you can be a W-2 or 1099. Wow, that is huge sums of money. And that is paid leave and family leave. The second provision they got into the Incredible Recon, which is great, is SALT. When you go to pay your tax return on your state, you pay state taxes. And you may be paying $15,000 of state taxes, for example. Guess what? You cannot deduct all $15,000. You can only deduct $10,000. Where did the $10,000 number come from? The 2017 Trump tax code revision. And it put a limit on the amount you can deduct on your federal tax return of state taxes you pay, $10,000. The SALT deal, it's called SALT, and this Incredible Recon will allow you to deduct up to $72,500 on your federal tax return of what you pay in state and local taxes. It's huge, especially for those big states with big tax levels like New York and New Jersey. Then they got $40 billion of free job training. Really good, because a lot of you may want to go back to work, just even part-time. And you're going to see under fifth stimulus that if you want to go back to work, you can and still stay on benefits like Social Security Administration, SSA, or things like that. So $40 billion of free job training. Here comes our Medicaid gap fix. Are you in a Republican governor state? This is you then. There's 12 holdout Republican governor states where they refuse to pay for Obamacare. So now the solution in this recon is that they will have a workaround plan that will provide subsidized private insurance to low-income people in those states. Here comes the housing assistance. And the housing assistance in this Incredible Recon is duplicative because you've seen it before on this channel, twice before. In a year ago this month, I was doing a video on this channel called Purple. And it detailed the money you can get for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and items like that. It was under second stimulus, and there wasn't a lot of it. And I said, let me show you how to get it, because I want you to get it now. It's hard. It's the winter. There is no second stimulus check yet coming. It did not come until almost January, that $600 stimulus check. Get that money right now. And you did. Look what's happening right now. Same time of the year. There is no fourth stimulus check. There is no check in the mail. There is nothing of this recon of $15,000 of checks that are coming to you this week. So you need money right now, not 5 weeks now, not 5 months from now. Well, are we looking at second stimulus? No, we're looking at third. The great news was when we were doing second, I said, get ready. Under third, they're going to have this and a lot of it. $46 billion. So if you learned it in last year, I said, you're going to get ready as soon as third stimulus becomes law. The great news is that it's coming back under fourth stimulus. But you don't have to wait for it under fourth stimulus. You can do it right today under third stimulus. What is it? Rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and we're also going to cover SNAP and other items. Now, what you need to know is that you qualify. 100% you qualify. You do not need to be behind on your money. You have to make the effort to make the calls. If you do not want to make the effort to make the calls, you're not going to get the money. Second, you have to understand that this money can be gotten multiple times, so you don't have to get it just once. Let's start with incredible rent. And this graphic was about 2 months ago. This graphic was maybe about 3 months ago. And look at the rent that the viewers of this channel have gotten. They've gotten on average from $20,000 all the way up to $30,000. That was then, but let's see what they're getting now. Viewers have gotten now over $40,000 of rent. How have they done it? Several ways. One, they've gotten multiple rounds on the third stimulus. So they got it in the spring, in February, they got it in the summer, and they got it again this fall. Then they have gotten rent sometimes from multiple locations. So where can you get this rent from? Let's go over the details. I hope you have that pen and paper ready. You're going to reach out to 6 places. Repeat, 6 places. If one says no, reach out to the other ones. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. You do not have to be behind on the rent. And here you go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city house authority, your county hall, your county house authority, your state hall, and your state house authority. And the key words you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. If you reach out to 6 of the 6, you make the 6 phone calls and they say you aren't eligible, then lean on the nonprofits and the nonprofits will pay the rent for you. Those 5 nonprofits are United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, and St. Vincent de Paul. This is all featured in the newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday. Utilities. These were the utilities in the summer when we're not heating our homes, we're cooling our homes. And now the utilities went up to $15,000. Well, guess what? You're going to need more than that because the numbers for CPI inflation releases last week show that heating oil went up 59% since last year. So you're going to need a lot of money for utilities. So you can get past utilities and future utilities. If you have 5 utility companies, reach out to all 5. Mark's brother-in-law got $25,000 of utilities from this channel. Next, food, SNAP. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get free food. You should not be paying for food if you have a financial burden in your household. And the average viewer of this channel is getting a lot more. Mark's brother-in-law is getting $25,000 a year for SNAP, for food, because of this channel. And that means over the next 10 years, he'll get $250,000 because of my recordings. You reach out to Department of Agriculture to get that money. And yes, it went up 25% last month. Next, you want to get multiple items. So here are the combo people who got 3 or 4 items. You don't want to stop with 1. You want to get 2 or 3 or 4. And you want to get refunded all the time. Mark has gone back and gotten refunded all the time. And then there's people that don't get massive sums, but just get refunded literally almost every few days. Margaret goes back and gets $200, $300, $400 every few days. She just picks up the phone. Here's Mark then. Mark has pushed forward since this and has gotten over 100,000. So imagine how many phone calls Mark has made. Here's Lorraine. She was at that number. She got at 120,000. Remember, third stimulus, that money requires you to pick up the phone and call. I can show you how to do it. I can teach you how to do it. But if you want to make one phone call and get a no answer and say, I'm done, thank you, I don't qualify, then you are doing yourself a disservice because this is big sums of money. What's great news is under third stimulus is I can get you rent, utility, mortgage assistance, SNAP, but the nonprofits can also get you other items, and those are small appliances like a refrigerator and furnaces, portable furnaces, broken windows, homeless people into shelter, clothing, holiday meals. Reach out to them. What's left of these items, what's left of your bills, which I can't pay for under third stimulus or the nonprofits? Home repairs. and that is in force stimulus. Weatherizing your home, in force stimulus. Purchase price of a new home, that is in force stimulus. So it shows you I can get you an enormous sum of money and no time or cause to sit around waiting for force stimulus to become a law. You get the money now under third stimulus. It will repeat itself under fourth stimulus, and you can get it again. So I said, if you have great questions or comments about how these programs work, send them to me on private message. Here are some of the comments and questions I got. First time home purchase. One person was married, bought a home, got divorced, wants to buy another home. Would that be her first? We will see the language. Another viewer, Ryan, said, I want to buy a trailer home. Does that qualify? I believe it would, but we have to look at the language. Another viewer said, low-income families? No, I think it's everyone. Then weatherize your home is everyone. And then the home repairs, that's also lower income. One viewer said, is it a grant? It is presumed to be a grant, and that it is upfront and it'll cover a lot of items. In-home healthcare, big money, $150 billion for that home healthcare across the board. Pell grant, $550 check for my college students. And then comes a $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. U.S. auto manufactured. A lot of questions about that. First, it has to be electric. Then it has to be U.S. auto made. So Ford, Chrysler, GM, and their subsidiaries. Finally, the $65 a month when that child is not in school, you get a check for his or her meals. The Medicaid reform, the prescription medication reform of forced stimulus is a game changer. What's happening? Starting as soon as this becomes a law, 20 plus medications will go under good faith negotiations with Big Pharma for the first time in their existence, and those big case medications will drop dramatically. I'd ask viewers, what are you paying for insulin per dose? One viewer said it was $900 a dose. Another viewer said it's $900 a month. Either way, whichever one it is, it's a lot of money. It's now going to be $35 a dose. What happened? Joe Biden did what Joe Biden does best. He negotiated. And he negotiated Kristen Sinema, calling her up 2 Wednesdays ago, saying, you need to do this, Kristen. And she agreed. And the entire recon, she's now blessing. For 20 years, Big Pharma blocked any change to the legislation, which said, whatever is the price, you have to pay it, Medicare. They had 15-page lobbyists to keep that status quo, a horrible status quo, and it imploded for them 2 weeks ago, and now we have the deal. The most expensive medications like arthritis, diabetes, and also a cancer medication slashed dramatically under good faith negotiations, and it'll grow to 30 medications in the next few years. Also, they cannot increase it more than the price of inflation. The Senate parliamentarian is set to rule on 2 provisions at least this coming week. The Senate parliamentarian, who is it? It is a government official. She looks at the rules of the Senate and determines what can go by vote by recon and what cannot. On the battleground, here we go. These are new items on the battleground. First, the immigration reform. Potentially going to be removed. She said before it cannot go by recon. The paid leave remains on the battleground. We'll see whether it gets removed. New provision on the battleground is the inflation tie-in to the medication. Yeah. So there's a language that they put in there that says Big Pharma cannot raise the price of medication more than the inflation rate each year. But if they do, there's a penalty. Well, some people think that penalty violates the rules of the Senate. Finally, the Republicans are now saying they're going to try to battle everything through review with the parliamentarian. If they think anything tips off disqualification as a provision, they're going to go to the parliamentarian. What happens if she takes something out? Well, the program comes out, but not the money. And yes, it could get reallocated to you. Bernie Sanders is indicative of where the senators are. They say there's a lot of work to be done in this recon. They want to add a lot of stuff in there. He says the best bill since the 1960s, but with major gaps. Major gaps does not mean we have to do a lot of weeks and weeks of work. It's just they got to do stuff to add it in there. He already knows what he needs to be added in there. And that is what Ron Wyden says, not done until the Senate acts. And he says there's a significant amount to still do. We have comments from Senators Coons and Schumer and Stable now and Murphy, all saying the same, that when we get in the Senate, get ready for those big changes. Now get ready with that pen and paper because we got some more checks in this incredible recon. And those more checks start with universal pre-kindergarten, 1 year, totally free front end check. Then we got in there the CTC for the 1 year for the children, the earned income tax credit for my essential workers. That's a back end check. Home health care, we don't know if it's a check, but I think it's a benefit. The hearing aid may be a check in the mail, like a voucher check. We went over the housing. Don't forget the 550 Pell and also the $65 per child. So what are the three provisions that Bernie will at least add to the recon, in addition to the push to add an MSC IRS stimulus check? Lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, the dental, and the vision. And he says that we're the richest country in the globe, and yet we don't have this taken care of. What would this happen, and what would it look like? It's likely going to be checks. When we first saw dental in there, or when we last saw dental in there, it was an $850 check, actual check in the mail to you. Not sufficient. Bernie said, I said it was not sufficient because it doesn't pay for procedures. It's more than cleanings, but not enough for procedures. So you need a little bit more money. This is for all Medicare recipients. He wanted 10 years of full benefits, then 3 years of full benefits. We will see. Then when we talk about the vision, he wants a check for a eye exam and a pair of frames, just the frames, per year. That's very simple. Yesterday I said, eye exam at Costco, I think it's about $50. And a pair of frames, about $100. I mean, although you go on some of those beautiful new publicly traded, NASDAQ traded frame companies, they are doing 2 frames for $100. So what happened with that? Well, it became frame wars in the live chat, where one viewer, Lily, was defending that her daughter buys her $450 frames and that's what Medicare should buy her. It's very, very nice that your daughter spends $450 on frames for you. But yeah, Medicare, not going to be your daughter. Medicare is not the house of Gucci. It's not the house of Fendi. They are not Cartier. They are Social Security. So they are not spending $450 on frames for you. They're not even getting me bacon. So there we go. Child tax credit. I show at $60,000 or less per year. Some of the analysis showing they may raise the eligibility. I show the housing aid a lot, 175 at the home health in care. Great as well, 100 to 200. I have commentary about this in a second, but let's cut over to student loan debt forgiveness and also FIT stimulus. The great thing about student loan debt forgiveness is that it's so quick and yet so simple, and I don't know what's going on with Chuck. The president has offered $10,000 of student loan debt to be forgiven by executive order, which could be like, tomorrow. And Chuck is holding out for $50,000, which the president has still refused to do for over a year and a half. I think Chuck should take it. Doesn't mean he closes out at his last and final offer. It means they just take it for now, and they can come back and get more money later on. President forgave student loan debts for people who became disabled after graduation. Then student loan debts for people who went to work in the public sector and then the nonprofit sector after graduation. Democrats should take it, and I don't know why they're holding out on it. It would be great during the holidays. Fifth, stimulus. I've been getting great questions about this. I love the questions. Your COLA benefits, your COLA raise is 5.9%. Your benefits are going up 5.9% next year. People have even asked me to explain what that means. It means that, for example, if you get a $100 check per month, you're going to get $105.90 per month. So you're going to get $5.90 more for every $100. That's easier way to say it. $5 more for every $100 you get $6 more for every $100 you get. COLA is the benchmark currently for all your benefits. Now, you're going to step up January 1st. You're never going to step down. That is going to be your new level. You're never going to step down. Once you step up, you never step down. But the issue is it's not enough. And we all know it's not enough. The problem is the word COLA. And that's why they're getting rid of COLA under FIT stimulus. What FIT stimulus is looking at is that they used a very bad benchmark. People have asked me to explain what a benchmark is. It is what they look at to determine whether to lift your benefits. And COLA has been zero for many, many years when it was not true because things just cost more in the stores those years. 2019, 2018. COLA was just doing nothing. Your benefits weren't hardly even going up. So what did they say? They said, we need a new benchmark. The new benchmark will be inflation. inflation. You see how everything is being tied to inflation? It should, because inflation is the best indicator of where things should move. But that's not enough, because your benefits are behind the eight ball. They're behind from pre-pandemic. They're behind in pandemic. Now they're only getting a little caught up for just this year, a 6%. So they want to raise your benefits up one time, apply a new benchmark, and also remove the and do that all next year. So you will get 3 lift ups in just 1 year. If inflation is 2 or 3%, anything positive the year after that, you would step up again. Remember, once you step up, you never step down. They're going to remove the asset cap and remove the income cap and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, if you haven't become a member, you need to become a member to get all these incredible sums of money under third stimulus. There's a fortune of money to get under third stimulus, and that same money is going to come out under fourth stimulus. Become a Purple member today, and the membership link is under the video, and get that newsletter, which comes out Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LA Late alert system, which is also in the links to this video. It's totally free to sign up for it. Get that membership newsletter so you learn about the big money you can get, and that's a perfect segue for me to go into my final commentary today on this channel. You saw a little bit of what I was tipping off about as my commentary early in this video, which was this channel has always been about me imparting information. It's an informational channel. It's a channel that I give you information so that you will take the information and apply it and get that money. This has never been a channel to just sort of track checks. I mean, you can do that on apps or try it on irs.gov, and sometimes it doesn't work. We're not here to track checks. And somewhere along the line, in the last 2 weeks, it became very donut-y. And I don't know where it became very donut-y. Let's understand. You need to advocate for MSC. You need to push for MSC. But advocating and pushing for one instrument does not mean you have a prayer room where you go in and pray to MSC every day with little deities and little figurines. You know, there's no MSC prayer room on this channel. There is a lot of programs in this recon that are really good. What am I getting at? What I'm getting at is that MSC is one of many provisions that can be added to this recon and should be, and you need to advocate for it. Along the way, some people have taken MSC and have run it into a universe that is an altered universe, and I don't mean the meta universe. I mean, it's a fake universe. They're now saying things like, I want 2 years of $2,000 checks, $24,000, $36,000 of MSCs, and I want to buy, 15 homes and 5 Harley Davidsons. I'm like, wait a second. This is not what I'm here for. This is not what you are here for. Federal government's not here to buy you Harley Davidsons. I mean, this is just out of control. It's out of control. That's the first thing. Second thing is that some people have now literally lulled themselves into a false narrative that they don't qualify for anything. They're not going to call. They're not going to look for third stimulus. And they're literally saying things like, I need MSC to pay the rent. I need MSC to pay for the food. I need MSC to pay for the utilities. And I just think to myself, what went wrong here with you? Because those items, rent, utilities, and food, are programs, and they are funded, and they have money for you under third stimulus, fortunes of it, and it's been around since January, and you should have gotten it in January, and you should have gotten it in the summer, and then gotten it again this week. And if you haven't gotten it, you should get it today. And if I make a recording and say, why have you not gotten it? You need to get it. And yet some people then would default into another law of a narrative. I called one place and they said, I don't qualify. So I really need MSC. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here, because people are sort of lulling themselves into this sort of normality of not wanting to get money. You don't want the money? Then don't get it. If you don't want money, then don't get it. I mean, I can't make the phone call for you if I can only show you the information. And I don't know if perhaps the reality has not hit in where suddenly the electric bill, where the electricity is turned off, and it's like, okay, the electricity is about to be turned off. Well, did you pick up the phone call for the electric to be paid for, like LA covered on this channel? No, I was waiting for fourth stimulus, those MSCs to come next year for $3,000 for 17 years of checks. Wait a second. You're so out of touch, it needs to come back into reality. It really needs to come back into reality. There are other people that say there is nothing in this entire fourth stimulus recon for me. That's just untrue. And I don't know how they can even say that to themselves. There are certain bills that everyone has, and I am always focused on getting as many of your bills paid for. And I'm not here to buy you scarves. I don't know where that came from, but I'm not here to buy you scarves. I'm not here to, I really want an MSC to buy some scarves. I really want an MSC to buy a cow costume. Okay, good. That's not a bill. Not a bill. I can get your bills paid for in the show. But, I cannot get car repairs and I cannot get massive home repairs under third stimulus. I can get home repairs under fourth stimulus at the moment. So that is how you have to really apply the information. If you do not apply the information, and this is where there's a lot of tough love coming in. If you do not apply the information, you know what that looks like, and you know what it's going to be. It's going to be exactly like the people in the spring of this year who never have filed a tax return. IRS said if you never got a third stimulus check, you must file a tax return. And they wanted to come into every chat and battle with people and say, I don't have to file a tax return. I don't make enough money. I don't have to. IRS said you have to file the tax return to get the third stimulus. But I don't want to do it. I didn't have to do it before. Why do I have to do it again? Because you got to do it. There has to be that sort of breakthrough. And I don't know if I need drums and a marching band behind me, but I need something for people to sort of, come on, wake up. When I reached out to one of the volunteers 3 days ago, I said, how many requests are you gotten from viewers asking for help with third stimulus? Average volunteer usually gets 16 requests per day per volunteer. Zero in 3 days. And that was during a week in which the traffic was insanely strong on this channel. Zero. I mean, it shows me the worry that I have, which is either maybe people don't need money. Maybe just people don't need money. Maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe everyone's rent and utilities is paid up to like 5 years from now. Maybe that's why they don't know. No, I don't think that's the case. And I think that somewhere along the line, people become a little bit too donut-y and need to pull it back in. You need to pull it back in and get money. Because remember, at the end of the day, you may have 20 bills to pay for every month. If you can get 8 of them paid on this channel, if you can get 12 of them paid on this channel, get them paid. Don't sit around and not get those 12 paid because you're waiting for something to be passed in fourth stimulus 5 days from now, 5 weeks from now. Get the money available on the third stimulus to alleviate those bills. And guess what? When they alleviate those bills, they don't only alleviate the bills backwards, they also do them forward. I've had countless viewers since 2020 have gotten rent forward, not just back. So let's say they call them up today, they get 3 months in the past of their rent paid, and they got 5 months to the future. And that is the scope of the incredible money that you can get. Join me next with Overnight's Crypto, and then join me on Evenings Ally. We got a big show tonight. It's 5 o'clock. And then we got Evening's Countdown and Streaming Stimulus. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want your part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Pal, Casino VIP. Get ready for that vote this week. It's going to be a big week. I'm very excited. You should as well. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with Ally for more.